Welcome to Hatman Strikes Back Daily Boxing News. So I saw an interview with Eddie Hearn the other day where he said he'd signed a young heavyweight called Leo Atang. And he claimed that Atang is very clearly the next Anthony Joshua. Now, obviously, Eddie Hearn is going to hype things to high heaven. That's his job, I guess. He's a promoter. But why did he say the next Anthony Joshua? And what exactly did he mean by that? Did he mean in terms of talent? Did he mean in terms of marketability? Did he mean in terms of stature and aesthetics? So I looked up this young man. He does have a BoxRec page and it's got 17 of his amateur bouts listed on there. I always have to remind people that BoxRec amateur records are not always complete, although I find with the younger fighters, the ones who are still amateur now, at least the higher level ones, they're more complete than, let's say, fighters who were amateur 10, 20, 30 years ago. So it's possible that Atang's BoxRec record is actually complete, but I'm not sure. Anyway, if you take a look, he competed in the European Junior Amateur Championships back in 2023. He won 3 bouts in that tournament, 2 by stoppage, before eventually losing on points by split decision in his 4th bout in that competition. He won the Youth National Finals in the UK, obviously, last year. He won the European Youth Championships as well last year, winning all 4 of his bouts, 2 of them by stoppage. And he continued on, again, all last year, to win the 3 Nations Youth Championships, the Haringey Box Cup, and also the World Under-19s Championship in November. That tournament took place in the United States. So he's obviously got some pedigree. He's won several international tournaments as a junior. He's apparently quite tall. I'm not exactly sure how tall, but I'm assuming a similar stature to Anthony Joshua. There are a few of his fights on YouTube you can go look at. And from what I can see, he looks decent. His talent doesn't jump out at me to the extent of, let's say, a Moses Itauma, because the first time I saw Itauma box as an amateur, I was very impressed. With Leo Atang, I'm impressed as well, but like I say, the talent doesn't jump out quite as much. But he's a boxer puncher, throws combinations, he's athletic. Again, I'm not sure of his age, but very young. And it's interesting because this is the first signing of its type that Eddie Hearn has made for many, many years. Yes, I know he signed Justice Hooney and Terra-Moana, but those guys weren't really blue chip prospects. And neither of them, of course, are British fighters. It's the British boxing scene that allowed Eddie Hearn to, at one point, become the #1 promoter in the UK and one of the top promoters in the world. He's since been knocked off that spot by Frank Warren with regards to the UK. And part of the reason that he was knocked off is because Frank Warren was signing up all the young heavyweight talent, particularly British heavyweight talent. Well, Eddie Hearn was running around trying to put on Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. for 2 years and messing around in Essex with Johnny Fisher, who was never going anywhere. It has seemed for all the world that Eddie Hearn wasn't planning to stay in boxing for much longer because he wasn't making investments, i.e. signing young fighters, talented fighters, blue chip prospects to future-proof his business. But signing Leo Atang, again, I'm not saying this guy is as obviously talented as Itauma, and he didn't go on to compete in the Olympics, etc. It's quite interesting that he's decided to turn over so young. In fact, you wonder whether Eddie Hearn, with this young man, is going to try and do what Moses Itauma wasn't able to achieve, which is breaking Mike Tyson's record, becoming the youngest heavyweight champion in history. Is that what Eddie Hearn has in mind here? Because again, this is not an obvious signing, somebody who's just won an Olympic gold medal, you know? This is a guy who, as far as I'm aware, as far as I can tell from his BoxRec page, hasn't had any international senior bouts. I mean, some of his domestic bouts might have been senior bouts, but in terms of international tournaments, the 2024 World Under-19 Championships, yeah, there's going to be people over the age of 16, 17 in there, clearly, but all under the age of 19. So it's still kind of a junior type championship, right? So yeah, keep an eye on this one. He's definitely got some talent. He's from the north of England, York to be precise. You don't get too many fighters coming out of York. But here we have one, Leo Atang. His pro debut will be on the Jack Catterall Harlem Eubank card on July 5th in Manchester. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about him in the comment section below. Check him out on YouTube. There are some of his amateur bouts on there. And if any of you have got more information about him, please enlighten us in the comments and give me your response to some of my musings in this video. Anyway, don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe if you haven't done so already. But before I go, make sure you check out my latest content on Patreon. This week on the boxing tier, I uploaded the full Dave Allen versus Johnny Fisher rematch fight footage with my commentary over it. So you can watch the fight blow by blow with me calling the shots rather than Adam Smith. And relive the down goes Johnny moment till your heart's content. Also on the boxing tier, I uploaded the infamous Kell Brook voice note. It's some guy from Kell Brook's inner circle in a WhatsApp chat group spilling the beans about Kell Brook's alternative lifestyle, giving backstory to a car crash that Kell Brook was involved in back in the days, and the weird events that led up to it. And also, the time when he got shanked in Spain. He explains the backstory behind that. That voice note was never meant to get out, but it did. It was sent to me probably 7 years ago or so by somebody from Sheffield, and it was doing the rounds online for a while, but it's since apparently been scrubbed from everywhere on the internet except for my Patreon page on the boxing tier, the Boxing Brotherhood. And on my topical tier, this week I've uploaded part 2 of The Mechanics of Faith, where I delve into why some people follow religion and why it actually helps them, and why other people don't follow religion, and in some cases, for the best. And in part 2 specifically, I explain why so many black men in the diaspora have turned their backs on the church and turned their backs on Christianity altogether. That's this week's topical content. And of course, if you sign up to my Patreon, you get access to my entire back catalog on the tier that you select, going back many, many years, hundreds and hundreds of episodes. And of course, last week on the topical tier, the Brotherhood of Reason, I uploaded an episode which was an instant hit, decoding the new movie Sinners. It went down fantastically well. In fact, you can listen to a free 10-minute sample of that decoding. Just click the link in the description box below. Anyway, I'll leave it there. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. If you want to access this video along with hundreds of hours worth of other exclusive boxing content, as well as our members chat, just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called the Boxing Brotherhood. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time, just like Netflix, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Just download the app from the Play Store or the App Store. All the links are in the description box below. And just a quick money-saving tip for Apple users. If you purchase your Patreon subscription on the desktop site or on Android, then you'll avoid the ridiculous 30% fee that Apple charges for purchases made on the iOS app. So if you're on iPhone or iPad, save yourself some money by buying your subscription on the actual Patreon website or on Android, because it's a lot cheaper. Once you've made that initial purchase, you can then use the Patreon app on your iPhone or iPad thereafter to access and enjoy your content as normal.